dried out. I got my first Gatorade bath, but it was water, thank goodness. So now I know what the brother-in-laws feel like when those things come. But the first thing to me, and again, we've never taken anything for granted here. And to look out Tuesday and see how many fans were waiting outside, and I shouldn't say, I knew they were outside Tuesday, I was going recruiting, to see them Wednesday, and to see that passion, and then to see it all today, and see the people lined up from early this morning on through the afternoon, and then to just hear this crowd. This is one of the most shared moments that I've ever been a part of, maybe the most shared moment, where you want to share it with everybody that's been a part of this program long before we got here, the ones that have joined in the sense of becoming fans over a period of time. But this is the epitome, I think, of what Hoosier Nation is all about, and the fans and everybody that supports this program, from close and far, young and old, they deserve it, because it's one of those moments that everybody's going to remember. As far as the game, it was not a picture-perfect game. We were doing some very good things. We got up in the second half, and then we did not play as well. And some of it was them, some of it was us. You have to close a team like Kentucky out. You have to continue to be really good on both ends of the floor. So it was not a textbook way to close a game, but it really came down to who had the ball last. And our guys never wavered throughout the game. Even when we had the lead and we started to give it up, they never wavered. Our coaches did a phenomenal job of continuing to preach belief and toughness to the players inside of the huddles. They talked to each other well. The biggest concern I had on the day with such an energy in the crowd was that they weren't going to hear me a lot. They had to hear each other. There had to be great echoes. Because there's no way I was going to get 2 or 3, 4 guys' attention. If I got one, they had to make sure that they echoed. For the most part, they did. So it's a great moment for us. It's a great victory because it's just such an outstanding team, and a team that is as you can see it, the explosiveness, the athleticism, the skill level, the coaching, it's top notch. And to get a win like that is huge. And to have it be at home where our fans had so much to do with it is the biggest part of the day. So for me.
Tom, can you talk about the last play that you set up there?
Well, it goes before that, about 3.5 minute mark, I put Riddell back in, I think it was. I said, you really need to be a senior leader now, because we needed to get settled down. And the rest of the time, he really did a great job of that. And at the end, with that timeout on the free throw situation, we knew they had fouls to give, so we weren't going with our conventional 5-second full court play, because it would bring too many people up, and we weren't able to win the game if we did that. So we wanted to break long and get Riddell the ball if we didn't hit anybody long. They didn't come up with us, so they continued to break. Riddell got the ball, made a play at midcourt, had his eyes on the rim, and had the presence of mind, because in a situation like that, you want to have 4 spots filled when you're driving the ball. And Christian did a phenomenal job of being in the backcourt, finding the open gap, and Verdell did a tremendous job of finding him, and Christian shot literally. The one vivid image to me in my mind memory is how picture perfect that shot was. He stayed in his shot, he didn't fade, he didn't leg kick. It was a picture perfect form. And I'm so happy for him, I'm so happy for both of them, because they've improved leaps and bounds, and they've been here through a lot. And for those two to connect on a game-winning play like that, that's a big-time moment.
Can you describe your feelings when you saw the ball go through the net?
Stunned. I want to make sure it counted, because I saw the referees running over to the monitor. So I wanted to hold an excitement there. Talked to John, shook hands with a couple of guys, and just wanted to wait. And then when you could see on the clock that it was off and through before the red light came on, that's, take a moment to raise the hands, and I just kind of really wanted to find my family and my wife.
Tom, it seemed like that post-game celebration with all the fans almost like a catharsis, for your fans. Did you get that sense that people just were dying to have this sort of celebration?
I don't know about that. Last year we had a great moment when we beat Illinois. So our fans deserve that. They deserve to storm the court. They deserve to stand on chairs and tables and be excited. They do, and our players deserve it. I told the team before the game, and I don't think it was anything profound. This team, these young men have endured a lot. And to have an opportunity like this today in front of them, I had 100% confidence that they would do everything to max it out, and they did. They did.
Are you willing to say what you said in the locker room after the game?
No, I mean in the sense of just really proud of them. We had a lot of people in there, and just really talked about individuals a little bit. But it was kind of a blur. I was freezing because I got doused. I got held down, and there was no way I was getting away from Janae Jackson. So they had it planned. But it's cool, you know. So good.
With 2 fouls to give, were you surprised that they didn't foul you in that situation?
Well, I never put myself in another coach's position right there. It looked like they tried, but the screen at midcourt was good, and Verdell just did a great job of putting a burst out there. And I thought he was going to take it, and I would have been okay with it because he was going left, and he's an excellent pull-up shooter, but he got cut off, and Christian was in an open spot. And like I said, when you're running end-of-game situations, because again, we anticipated we wanted to try to sneak a long pass in there where we could get the long pass and have a chance to win the game, or we'd get held on the cut. And they didn't come up and bite, so we just ran. And for Verdell to pivot and make that pass, that is the biggest assist he has had at Indiana. And as good as Christian's playing, the thing it was just, I can't describe enough how that was just a perfectly, fundamentally formed shot that he's worked so hard to become a better shooter. And he made it. But everybody did their job. You know, Vic ran long, and Cody, Jordan, everybody did their job. But the bottom line of something like that is there was belief, but yet they were able to execute under pressure. And it turned out to be a bit of a broken play because we didn't hit long, but when everybody fills their spots, good things can happen.
Cody said that the experience of coming back against NC State really helped in this game. Do you feel that way?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. But I think I could say going back to the Indiana State scrimmage has helped these guys. I mean, everything is a very good experience for them, whether it's a plus or whether it's a minus in the way that they learn from it. And their week of concentration and focus was high level. And if anything, I didn't even think we were over anxious to play. I mean, they were very mature. I think Coach Buckley said it the best. I said, you know, I hope they're enjoying this. He said, well, if they were giddy, they may not believe they could win. He said, they believe they're going to win. And I think that was a great mindset that our team carried throughout the week. And I think games like NC State helped that happen because of the way we won. And to tie Kentucky in the rebounding and to have 14 offensive boards, that's a victory in itself with what they're doing on the backboards, and especially for the way they've handled the backboards on us the last couple of years. So our guys knew what it was going to take to win. We didn't always do it, but we had the ball last.
Dustin, how big was Christian today overall? I guess did you go in knowing you were going to need a lot of him today?
Well, we did it. I only was upset with him one time when he took a challenge three and he got a piece of it blocked because we knew that we had some matchup problems, but we also felt that they might have one with him. And he needed to be able to utilize it a lot of different ways. And you go back to last year, he's one of our best three-point shooters. And when it became harder for Jordan last year, after Verdell was out a little bit and after we lost Mo, Christian continued to make three-point shots. So Christian's game, I'll look back on it in film, and he made plays at the rim, he made plays in the pull-up, he made plays in the post, he made plays on the glass, and he made 4 threes. So to have you can't win games like this without your best players, you know, really bringing it, and he did.
This is the second time in 2 years he's managed to keep Terrence Young's down. He was 3 for 11 last year. He got 4 points tonight. Just what did he do just to keep him from getting?
Well, I think it's mindset, and I think that's going to be the key to Christian's growth, the whole team's growth, because the job number one outside of getting back on defense was how we played Davis and Jones, and we had to be physical. We couldn't allow that team to float, and I mean they lead the country in so many things. Lobs are one of them, and we just couldn't let that happen. It happened a couple times. We made a mistake early. Cody made a mistake on a ball screen, and they got the lob for Jones. And when we were locked into our game plan, we made it tougher for them to score. Obviously, we didn't guard the dribble very well. And we could have gone zone, but our guys believed in themselves. They believed in their team defense. And even though it wasn't always very good at the end, you know, you don't want them questioning, can they win the game? And I think that had a lot to do with the presence of mind to make the plays they made at the end.
Derek didn't play. What was the story behind that?
Derek just had a rough week. He hurt his back a little bit, and he was cleared. He practiced a little bit Thursday, more yesterday, but it just became a coach's decision. It wasn't anything against him. He was healthy enough to play. He'll play next week. We just want to continue to get him healthy. If this was not how I would have drawn it up in our game plan, knowing that we weren't going to go to the bench very much. I was ready to play Austin. I was ready to play Remy. It just didn't work out that way. So it was no offense to anybody.
Was there any talk on that last play of only going for a 3, or was it just trying to get the best shot?
Get the best shot. We never talked about that part of it. We just wanted to get the best shot.
I understand why you were very calm at the end, but was it hard to be calm and wait for the, you know, the...
Well, I thought it was good. I mean, so I would have been like stunned if it wasn't. But again, you know, not going to get giddy and joyful and have a letdown. But I have no idea how we'd have got that game finished if it wasn't. So. but it was good. It's the one thing that I did at the end after going around the court a little bit, finding my family, seeing some people in the back, hugging the players, is really just take about 2 minutes and watch it. And I had a picture when I was back at Michigan State as a graduate assistant, and I was there in 89-90. We won a Big Ten championship, and the picture, it showed Tom standing back while everybody was celebrating the game, and I always thought that was the coolest thing. And sometimes there's been whether at Marquette or here when they erupt on the crowd, you see pictures, but you never like take it in. I took about 2 minutes to make sure I took it in.
Coach, there's been a lot of talk about the future of this rivalry. It's clear that the fans on both sides are still passionate about it. What do you think this type of game, being on national TV, does for the future of the rivalry?
Well, I think it means that we're back in the hunt on it, and it hasn't been much of a rivalry the last couple of years. Though we were close for 35, 36 minutes last year. But I think it's a hypothetical to me. I don't know why this game would go anywhere. I mean, it's great for everybody, and his team can measure themselves against us today. We can certainly measure ourselves. They're the standard of college basketball. I mean, they really are. I mean, I don't care who's out there. When you got that kind of talent, that kind of explosiveness, the way that they play, as hard as they play. When I saw somebody had written that one team had shot 38% against them, and it was Carolina last week. That's not the kind of stat you're bringing to your team, you know. I mean, they're really, really good, and we had to have a great effort to beat them. And I don't know why this game would go anywhere. So I don't really think about it much more than that.
Is it moments like that you pitched for the last 4 years to recruits and to people around the program, and what does it mean to finally get to that point?
No, I wouldn't put an exclamation point or a period on it. I would say that we have envisioned and sold this program in the sense of this happening a lot. Crowds like this a lot. And having fans just be at a fever pitch and maybe because it was the week-long build-up, but to have fans feel like that a lot. And I think that's where we need to have. That's when we'll know that this program is really accomplishing things. When there's that kind of feeling, you know, for more than 1, 2, 3 games, things of that nature. Again, because I think that's the Indiana that I looked at from afar. So no, this is a great day. This is a great win, and there's a lot to be excited about. As I told the team, there's a lot to improve upon from this. We'll get to that later. But this is not an exclamation point to our season. We got a lot of season left. But there's a lot of room for growth, and that's what I'm most excited about, that we're winning, and at the same time we can get a lot better.
Coach, you guys went on.
Who did? I'm sorry.
John Calipari said earlier this week that he knew you were in a great frame of mind based on those hilarious text messages you got sent by you. He said you would tell us what.
No, he didn't say that I would tell you. He said you have to ask me. That's what he said, right? That's what he said, right? No, I can't. I tweet. I share tweets. I don't share texts.
Last question.
Coach, you guys went on something like a 16-2 run when Davis was out of the game in that first half. Just talk about how different the game was when he was out of the game.
Well, I've got to look back at the film. The rim changes. There's no question about that. And we wanted to make sure that we were aggressive and physical on both ends. And the rim opened up a little bit more. Certainly, you cannot just pay attention. I mean, our guys Cody did an excellent job on him, but you've got to be very aware. The ball pressure's got to be great. I mean, the lobs they get are ridiculous. And that was one of the absolute keys to the game, is that we didn't help up, and then we made sure that the weak side defender was getting a hand in to protect the bounce pass. And the bigs would have their hands up in the sense that we could just throw it over top of us, and that the guys guarding the ball couldn't just toss a lob up like they do. But there were so many things that went into this game that when you got a chance to capitalize with one of their good players, really good players like him out of there, you have to do it, and we did it. But we didn't keep the hammer down offensively the way that we needed to do, and then we didn't guard the dribble as well as we needed to do. But again, like I've said a couple times, we had the ball last, and our guys made a great decision.
Okay.
That's good. Thank you.
Thanks.